Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. The solo adventure Rise of the Shadows is, or I guess it's called the Delarian Heist, is unlocked finally with terrible announcement and terrible scheduling. It came out actually Thursday and today is Friday, so I didn't check until it was very late in the evening, nearly midnight, before I even launched Hearthstone yesterday. Because I'd been checking so often, I was like fairly certain it was going to happen next Tuesday. And they basically said it was going to happen next Tuesday because they said it was going to open in a week. And they started saying that was going to happen in a week on Tuesday. So I don't understand why they're so vague, why they can't just give a date and a time inside their app. So we have the Violet Hold, which will give us 3 packs, and the twist will be imprisoned minions, defeat guards from the magical prison, and unleash the horrors from within. Once we defeat everything, we'll have anomaly mode. But it's not once we defeat everything, it's once we own all the chapters. So I guess if you paid the $19.95, you could do anomaly mode right now. Maybe not, because maybe you don't technically own all the chapters until the weeks have unlocked. It's so weird. So we played as the mage before, and I thought that was we would be playing as different characters, but apparently not. So there's only one mage character, but they level up in an RPG fashion. So let's just play as the shaman character this time. This is a good revelation because frankly it was going to be crazy to have 5 chapters with each with 9 different characters that you would play as, but I wasn't really questioning that. So the RPG elements here are we need to summon 25 totems and overload 25 mana before we can get these other abilities, otherwise we're stuck with the default ability. And we need to defeat 5 bosses, 10 bosses, and 15 bosses, and if we win the entire run, then we would have only defeated 8 bosses. So if we get daily quests that tell us to come back and do this, which we almost certainly will, it'll be maybe 2 or 3 times that we'll have to play as each character to unlock everything. I don't think that there's actually much of a reward to unlock anything. It's just they're experimenting with trying to make it last longer. This is a new bad guy, but does that mean we're always going to fight different bad guys based on the character we select? Probably not. It's probably just a different bad guys based on which chapter we select. And frankly, even the Rumble Run bosses with their shrines felt like they were running out of ideas, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these enemies we run into barely have anything interesting in their hero ability.
I'm a sharp one.
Okay. So we want to just win as fast as possible and get an idea of what our decks are about. This does 1 damage, combo does 2 damage.
What awaits within these prison cells?
So enemies will just be summoned onto the field at the beginning. Right.
Job's done.
It's easy enough to work with. I assume we can't attack these prison cells, so they will just summon as time occurs.
Messina, your cold-blooded magics warm my black heart. Unleash havoc!
Let's just try to use our totem ability as much as possible.
Job's done.
And see, this summons on the 4th turn and we'll have charge and lifesteal. So there's a slight problem there, but really not much of one. Okay.
Size matters not.
Kill that. Back here. So we kind of have to keep keep in our minds the fact that how many totems we've summoned. One so far. Okay, this will be enough to win anyway, so I'll just do that.
This minion needs time to get ready.
Oh, oops.
Job's done.
Well, I guess then I still could have won, but I didn't. The one that probably played his Overload card, because that's the other thing we're trying to do.
But mostly the humiliation.
So do that, do that.
I am lethal. I have lethal.
Interesting, he says I have lethal. So pretty easy there to start with. A Wandering Wisdom ball occasionally gives you helpful advice. Your minions have permanent stealth. Your minions have rush. I would say having rush is better than helpful advice. This seems like this would be like the worst possible ability. Even if it did give you helpful advice, unless it actually changes the game somehow. Permanent stealth's not terrible, but I'll take rush over stealth. And then here we're going to be looking for things that could be either overload or totem based. I don't see anything like that. So then we're thinking late game, what would be the most useful? I can't help but think that Kelth Azul would be very useful. So on to the next fight we go.
Vecina versus Kizzy.
They seem to have a knife themes
Look what the
going
cat
on.
dragged in. Here for a cut.
This might just be a coincidence that they have two different characters that are somewhat around cutting. I'm gonna hold on to that just in case. Let's see. Give a friendly
Have you
minion a
considered going
random
purple?
haircut.
It suits you.
This seems crazy. That seems like that wouldn't do anything different. This will be a 3/5 that can be inspired to gain spell damage, but not while it's in the prison, I assume. Let's try that.
Job's done.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that inspired it. If it did, it would have given me spell damage increase. And this is a 4/5 with a death rattle. I'm somewhat goofing around here. Why is it taking 6 turns for that
We'll
to
take it from here.
break free?
Let's just take some off the sides. Snip, 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 snip.
So a haircut gave it stealth.
Knowledge is power, and I know a lot.
Let's see.
Now you're looking mean.
Now it was given +2. So a haircut potentially is some kind of buff. Oh yeah. And remember that all my characters have rush, so
Here's where you're wrong.
that works pretty well too. So I want to play this and this next turn, and then I'll probably win. Let's see that. And, yep.
So,
Victory.
here's
Move
where you're
forward.
wrong.
If I can get an easy victory, I'm just going to take it. There's no reason to stretch things out. Yeah. I doubt there's any great benefit to unlocking everything as quickly as possible, since it's fairly obvious there's no reward for doing that. You just get 3 card packs for beating the boss once, and that's it. I guess since this is the only overload card, we'll take that. Moving on. And these early games are short, which is great, but then the later games are long because you run into minions or enemies that have 45, 60 health.
Let us resolve this quickly.
Are you crashing my portal party?
Let's see. Let's trade out these 2. A lot of this, though, does just feel like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, we can't know a strategy until we played the game once, so
Job's done.
you're just gonna try anything and everything. See what works. So, are they in prison? Yeah, they're in prison for as long as their mana count would be, so that's how that works. I'll just go ahead and start with that. And the art style, again, just does not feel like it matches the old art style. It feels like they got a new artist in to do things. And that's gonna be weird. I guess you could do that, certainly, though, is just continuously work your way up to a new artist and slowly shift what the art style of Hearthstone is into a different one. But I doubt they're gonna shift very much. It'll still be very colorful, kid-friendly graphics. The commercial that Hearthstone made, there's been a couple of them now, does look very pixel-ish, and as in the Pixels movies. So if they were going to move closer towards that direction, I wouldn't immediately complain about that. Let's see, what does this do? just draw 2 Murlocs from my deck. I'm gonna just end my turn here and hold on to this attack. That being said, I think both the Overwatch cinematic trailers and the Hearthstone cinematic trailers are dangerously approaching false advertising. That they don't really look a lot like what they actually are. What they actually are selling. The Overwatch cinematic trailers in particular look like you're getting a Pixels cartoon of some sort, which is not the experience you have when you play Overwatch, because you're in first person or third person and you're just playing the different gameplay styles in this effectively a hero-based first-person shooter. The commercials for Hearthstone center around a child character, making Hearthstone seem like it is very much for and focused around children playing it, when it really isn't. It's it's child friendly enough, but I would say I suspect there's way more adults playing Hearthstone than children, because Hearthstone is too complicated a game and too long of a game for kids to want to really play it. And the trailers focus around a bunch of World of Warcraft heroes playing Hearthstone, the card game, in a tavern, and that's this meta story that's not really expanded or said when you're actually playing the game. Deal 4 damage to all enemy minions, shuffle this into your deck. Discover legendary minions, summon 5 copies of it. That'd be interesting, certainly. Which is more useful in late game? I would say this is. I'm gonna take that just for variety's sake more than anything else. Add a copy of each of your battlecry minions to your hand. Add a 5/5 horror to your hand. Teach it 2 shaman spells. Kelth is old. I'm gonna take another Kelth is old. Just have 2 of them.
Don't start a fight in here. Or do. I could care less.
And so we have our first tavern options where we can rebuild and modify our deck, which this is cutting edge. This changes it quite a bit. Okay. So I could choose a friendly minion. It always starts in your hand. I can fill the tavern with new minions. I could look at 4 spells and from your adventure deck and choose 1 to remove, or I can remove a friendly minion.
Soon.
Okay. I don't see a reason to do much here.
I can always enjoy a quiet night.
Let's see, so let's just do Brood.
Rough day.
And we'll just refresh. Okay. Now our choices is we could always start with Knife Juggler, which would be cool. Let's see. So always start with the Knife Juggler. I could steal an enemy minion. And get Arthas if I wanted. I could get rid of a spell, and I could get rid of a minion.
Take your time. Enjoy the atmosphere.
Let's see. So I'll take Arthas. Why not? Let's get rid of this elemental since he's not really doing anything for us. And then let's kindle
Is
a
something
spell.
burning in here?
Yeah, we'll just get rid of that. So we can play
put it
all
on
of
your
our
tab.
cards. And so that changed how our deck plays now a little bit, making it easier to get to the cards we want to get to. And I think the two opportunities in a run you have to change your deck really makes it more likely for you to win compared to
Let us resolve this.
any other changes you could make.
Let me guess. You forgot your library card?
Alright. So we want to see, this will silence all minions,
Job's
so
done.
immediately my strategy of playing Knife Juggler is in question. But whatever.
I learned this one from an old
Also, Kel'Thuzad would be in question, and a lot of other things would be in question. This will summon in 4 turns, this will summon in 6.
Put this apple on your head.
This will be silenced and then be able to attack. I could kill this. I mean, it very possibly may try. Or we could just leave things as they are. So let's leave things as they are and see what happens. Interesting, it chose to attack even though it could have just done something different.
Hey, catch!
I'm drop dead gorgeous.
Let's see. If your opponent's turn, summon a 2/2 ghoul. Summon a. This one summons a 5/5 skeleton for me, so I would probably want that. Let's see, how do we want to play this?
Perhaps I can end this soon.
Feel the power.
Keep your voice down. Hey,
Just go ahead and kill that.
Job's done.
So, field control there.
The gates are open.
Okay. This would give me a death rattle to add a random Death Knight card. This would give me.
why are your friends so loud? No music in the library.
Okay. So give all minions in your hand and deck. Was that -1? No, that's +1, +1. Yeah, why would somebody have a card that said -1?
Farewell. To war.
That. And then in the turn. I can't really do anything right now. This. That. And
Mind if I roll knee?
Mists quench you.
Hey, give me that!
so yeah, we've got 2 Kel'Thuzul's. We've got an Arthas that, even with 1 Kel'Thuzul and an Arthas on the field, would work rather well to give me basically infinite Death Knight cards.
You never know what you will find in an old dusty scroll. Ah, the new hire.
So we're just kind of looking at tavern,
Interesting day. Good luck.
at totems, and let's see, totems and other things. Overload cards. That's what we're trying to play. Is that?
Mists quench you.
Is there anything else we want to do? Nope.
Mists
Just take victory.
quench you.
So, okay. Next. This would summon more totems every time there's on this battle cry. Do we need a 3rd Kel'Thuzul? No. Do we want to go with Murlocs? No. So we'll just take this.
I despise amateur snake handling. Show him how it's done.
So they are trying to make the shadow bosses, Rise of Shadow bosses, more characters. They made a special tavern brawl where you were supposed to recognize these characters and find them interesting. But they really can't be more than just a short collection of lines of dialogue. And they don't have any actual effect on the game, it seems.
Job's
Is
done.
give Cthulhu upgrades. It's odd. How can they even be playing Cthulhu cards? Why would they be playing Cthulhu cards? Considering I'm pretty sure Cthulhu cards would be in Wild.
Perhaps I can end this soon.
I guess I can't do anything, so might as well just end the turn.
You're not a customer.
What's their special ability?
This
Craft
one's
a
popular.
custom
It's easy
exotic
to train.
pet. Okay. Let's overload and kill that. If he plays poison cards
Not big enough
every
field to lock
turn,
you up in.
that's going to
Come here,
be
boy.
somewhat of a problem.
Put this apple on your
The
head.
strategy should work a little bit better this time.
This isn't moonlight.
Yeah, keep some common pets around too.
Let's see. Play this. And I'm hoping it hits this twice. And it didn't. But that's alright, we can do that. There we go.
Get in line.
Whenever a friendly minion dies. Okay.
One by one.
Okay, this seems like this is fine. We're gonna get it done and probably win in the next couple of turns. Just that. And let's see. Be nice.
Feel the power.
But it's not gonna work. Needed that to hit that, so we can do that.
Hey, catch! Hey, catch!
Although I guess I could have attacked with that too. Yeah.
Job done.
This.
Come on. At least pick up after it. Now, that one's boring.
Okay.
To war.
Hey, catch!
So I'm gonna kill this one, and then that'll just leave this one and this one to attack. This one is only in rush mode. Next turn we can play Kel'Thuzad and resummon things. And totems would be the only things of slight concern.
Soldiers of the cold dark. Obey the call of kill.
Do that. And that.
To war.
That. I don't know why I played that way. Specifically, that was
Hey, catch!
dumb.
Hey, catch!
But I think we'll be fine.
Feel the power of the winds.
He's got nothing. Okay. Play this, do that, and win. These still very much feel easier. Feels rather laid back. Here. And here's the Potion of Vitality. These are treasures from previous expansions, so that they're bringing them back or moving them forward, which is a good idea considering how otherwise you'd have to reinvent the wheel every single time. Doubling my starting health is almost certainly what I need. A spell damage plus 3 is not likely to be used at all in this card. Your cards cost half, but you can only play 2 cards each turn, which, I mean, that wouldn't be terrible. Like, most of the cards I have, they cost half. But then I'd play all my cards. So doubling your starting health is the best move there. And I want to win this time, at least. Maybe later. Give your totems plus 2 attack. Gain +1/+1 rate for each totem. And another totem card. Or the Lich King. Do I need more legendaries though? I don't think so.
You aren't taking a break, are you? There's work to be done.
So now we can manipulate our deck the second time. Let's see. We could tell a story, give a friendly minion +2/+2 for this run. We could burn a spell. Choose a friendly minion, add 3 copies to your adventure deck. We can dismiss a minion. Choose an enemy minion, add it to your deck. Death rattles trigger twice. The thing is, I don't really know what's in my deck. Wasn't paying that much attention. Battle cry or death rattle? Which one do you think?
What would Corvec do?
Which one do I think? I think I have death rattle, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to dismiss this because I don't think that's going to do anything. And give an amalgam +2/+2. Probably not a terrible idea. Add 3 copies to your adventure deck. Yeah, let's do that.
I appreciate the extra business.
So now I can burn spell. Is there a spell that we really want to get rid of? We'll get rid of this one, I guess.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
The good lieutenant is this prison's last line of defense.
So we're on challenge 6 of 8, so there's 2 more challenges after this, 2 more bosses. But I think we're in a good position.
Versus Lieutenant Sinclari.
Unless I just get really, really unlucky. This prison element of having a minion on the field to start with
Why me?
doesn't really seem like it changes much. Apparently the lieutenant is not happy in her lot in life. Yeah, 80 health to 55. Give a minion +2 health and taunt.
Job done.
This is gonna give
We
your
stand
totems +2 attack. That won't do anything for her. Interesting. Is this all she's gonna summon? Is a bunch of these? This death rattle.
Put this apple on your head.
See what happens.
Out of my jungle!
So do I want to power up this guy, or do I want to play this? I'm gonna play this and hope it's the taunt one, and it was good. Kinda need this guy to be healed or protected for a while. I guess I should have probably attacked this guy. So that strategy failed at this point. So we'll just move on to the next strategy. And we do have Rush, so we'll use it. Yeah, if I had just summoned that one earlier, so it would have healed the knife thrower.
Come on then, put your backs into it.
So now these have +1 attack for the Curing Tor Guard. Place your other minions in your hand, they cost 1. Return your other minions to your hand, they cost 1. Alright. This. And that. And that. I have so much health right now that I still feel like I'm in a pretty good position. This, that. I just realized I probably could have used that trick before to now rush and attack something, even though I don't really want to rush or attack anything. Well, if I survive a couple turns, I can play this and turn the game around. Summon 5 legendaries. It'd be surprising if they gave me a pick of 3 legendaries that are all really bad.
The might of Dalaran has arrived.
Okay. Let's see. This works. And then this
Elements
works.
I like. Totems I love.
Behold!
Totally.
There we go. We're 54 to 54, so they did take a decent amount of life out of me. I would probably lose if I didn't have the thing I do have. Let's see. Each player gets set each player to 5 mana crystals. Both players get the power of the rock. If played an elemental. Let's just do this. There we go. And they all have rush. So this
is mine. The power is mine. The power is mine.
Behold!
yeah, that worked rather well. Can I play an elemental last turn? I could do that. What would that do? Cast an elemental invocation. I have no idea what that would do. Let's see.
The power is mine.
Behold!
I want to do this.
once more.
And we can play that.
The might of Dawn has arrived.
And
Rumble!
Behold!
let's see, do I have any more overload or totem cards?
I serve the Fire Lord.
We stand together.
Alright. So I'm gonna play this first, and then this. And then let's just see what elemental invocation is. Fill your board with 1/1 elementals, deal 6 damage to the enemy hero, 3 damage to all enemy minions. Well, I guess we could do 6 damage to the enemy hero if we needed to. Let's do this some more. Let's see. Yeah. Do that twice. That clears the board.
By the elements combined!
And yeah, nothing more, so win.
By the elements combined!
Victory via elemental invocation. I would have lost that though if I didn't have double the health. Still don't want to do Murlocs. I don't think I really need more legendaries. Overload cards I think are it.
Icaron is
2
pure
more.
hate in liquid form. Magnificent.
2 more bosses. Unless he manages to defeat me.
Vecina versus Icaron.
And I assume some of these bosses might have some relation to the World of Warcraft storyline. Quite frankly, if Activision Blizzard wasn't being run by accountants and fools, it seems like, then they would have done a Telltale style game that was set in the World of Warcraft universe to tell a story. Certainly the Pixar trailer animation that we see as advertisements, if they could maintain that level of quality and do a like very little choice, straight story experience just to catch people up, that would work nicely in my mind. But I don't know if anything would really get too many new people into playing World of Warcraft or World of Warcraft Classic, now that that is either available or soon to be available. What's this ability? Gives a friendly minion Divine Shield. And this is gonna, whenever you play a spell, draw a card. And this is gonna take 9 turns. Just gonna play totems and see what we can do. See, that's pointless. Actually, I shouldn't have done that because he'll just use his ability again. It's only 1 friendly minion Divine Shield, but that's enough. Discover a card with overload, overload. Suppose we are just gonna have to work our way through that taunt minion.
The tides come for you. I am a force of nature.
If we could get to Kel'Thuzul, I guess we might be safe. And do that. Okay. This is not a bad overload card to have.
Job done.
This breaks in the next turn also.
Flames consume you.
I am fury, unrestrained.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Okay. So what I want is the spell damage +1 minion. I didn't get it. So then I want
By the
this.
power of Saffrolis. No! You would turn the storm against me!
Time to pay.
The tide shall return!
Two more turns.
Reality woven.
Now, to the wrath of the pounding sea!
Okay. Deal a bunch of damage to everybody. Sure. He's at 77 health, I'm at 53. We're potentially gonna be in trouble here.
Water can hold any form!
Let's see.
Rust and crumble before the raging waters!
Don't have a lot of opportunities so far.
You cannot turn the tide of battle!
I can play this.
You cannot stop the cloud here.
And I can play this. And then I guess
Mists quench you. Of course.
we can just try to reduce the amount of damage I'm taking. How's he on cards? He has 16, I have 17.
Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark, obey the call of kill. Pray for mercy.
Just get rid of that guy. Maybe I can get lucky and this guy won't be dead, but almost certainly will.
Overcome
I need that spell that summoned 5 legendaries. That would be very helpful right now. Or can I play something with this? I mean, I have 9, so that wouldn't really work. Do that, though. And let's see. It would turn minions to my hand. I don't know what that would help. Okay. Destroy all minions, retrieve the top cards from each deck for each minion destroyed. Interesting. That's an interesting move, I suppose.
Chaos beckons.
Let's try this. Oh, well that destroyed a bunch of my cards, didn't it? I did not understand how that card was going to work, clearly.
Any shape!
Did you bring some fish?
This would be something I could turn to the field. Well, I've got 2 spell damage up.
These cursed spells I give
This
to thee.
and this. I could kill this, but I don't need to. Not yet. This won't work in its current state. Just won't, so we need that. And then maybe we could play with this, but that's not enough. That's enough, I think.
Break yourself upon my body.
Seriously, 2 of these? Okay. Maybe if I could return this to my hand and play it a second time, that would work. Let's see. Turn your other minions to your hand. They cost 1. Deal 5 to 6 to damage to all minions. I don't have enough mana to do it.
What would Corvette do?
I need to play this, hope it's the one that can attack, and it isn't. So that's a waste. I'm playing overload cards, that's the one thing, but everything is not working and I'm on the verge of losing because of it. Let's see. Battlecry, add a copy of each of your other Battlecry minions to your hand.
Job's done.
He's got 9 more cards. I don't see how he's not going to win. And I think that's where the second week is going to just end, because we'll get a daily quest eventually to do this all. But if I tried today,
does not tolerate failure. But we are a snitch short-handed, so feel free to try again.
and see, if the game did something amazing here and let me retry the battle right now, that would be great. But it's not going to let me do that. But we did get progress, so now we could play Evolution, which would transform our friendly minion into one that costs 1 more, which is a better hero ability, frankly, than summoning a totem. And we now have Primal Stones deck. And we can also play draw a card and overload once. The ability to re-challenge the boss you just tried is the #1 thing I would have liked for them to add in this solo expansion, and they didn't add that. That being said, apparently the reward was to just play, not specifically win. So week 2, next Thursday, I guess, we'll continue this. And I don't think there's really any reason to try and get victories. Take note here that you would potentially at some point need to get a victory for each chapter for each of the 9 heroes, because it puts a little gold crown over the heroes. So they're talking no less than 9 times 5 games, 45 games, 45 victories that they want you to do. What would that unlock? I don't think it unlocks anything other than bragging rights. You can play heroic mode right now. In comparison, like, there is no heroic mode for Rumble Run, and Rumble Run was fine but not great. Boomsday Project with the puzzle lab, I think, was more of a thinking man's game and very, very different from playing Hearthstone. I'd say the Delirium Heist is mostly still playing Hearthstone, and Delirium Heist is best compared to
for the terrible power.
To the Witchwood here with the Monster Hunt, and Kobolds and Catacombs with the Dungeon Run. Of course, if you're a new player, you probably don't have Naxxramas or Blackrock Mountain or Karazhan even. Like, a lot of these solo expansions are just gone, and there's kind of nothing you can do to get them. So new players are kind of consistently getting screwed out of old content, both in the fact that card packs and expansions are moving into Wild, and there's no reason to play Wild. Daily quests don't push you to do that, and it's not balanced in any way. So golden rares probably not worth much. So mostly all we're trying to do here is see if we can find an epic or legendary. And I suppose we're in this position where we can, particularly for me, since I have a European and Asian account, at some point I would want to do those solo expansions on those accounts too. But there really isn't much of a reason to. I just, theoretically, within the next year, you would just want to unlock the expansion and make sure you own it. But there's really no reason to get victories. So that's going to be week 1 of the solo adventure. For people watching live, I'm going to end the stream, take a break, and then start to stream up again in the next 20 minutes or so and play our normal Hearthstone coverage. So make sure you're subscribed and you've clicked the notification bell, and maybe you even have to click the notification bell so it pops up to make sure you get all notifications. I had a subscriber just the other week telling me that they hadn't gotten any notifications whatsoever and that they thought I hadn't been streaming for a very long time, and that's absolutely not true. I've been streaming very consistently, and YouTube just doesn't put out the notifications. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. The Steam Summer Sale is coming, so that would be a great time to do that. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.